Hello everyone, my name is Nilzor and welcome to my vault. Today, on Fallout New Vegas 101, I'm going to talk to you about what is the world of Fallout. It's best described as a retro-futuristic world, meaning that despite the fact that you'll be playing during the 21st century, you'll be surrounded with 1950s outfit and laser pistols. The universe is set after a nuclear apocalypse that wiped out almost all of humanity, and where technology focused on nuclear energy and its miniaturization and not on miniaturized electronics like in our world. It is inspired by classic sci-fi genre, mainly fueled by the pulps from the 50s, such as The Worlds of Tomorrow anthology, and is using a satirical and humoristical tone.
Reserve your family spot in a state-of-the-art underground vault today. Sign up now and prepare for the future.
Along your travel, you will meet various types of creatures, such as fellow humans, but also irradiated ghouls, super mutants, robots, rat scorpion, giant ants, and many others. You will also encounter various factions that rose from the ashes of this post-apocalyptic landscape. The world timeline is basically the same as ours until the end of World War II in 1945. Before the USA sent a space shuttle on the moon in 1969, there was a division of the 50 American states into a 13 Commonwealth administration. In 1991, USSR didn't disbanded and diplomatic relationship between USA and Soviets were actually pretty warm by the end of the 20th century, on the contrary of those with China, which became the greatest enemy of the USA during the 21st century. 2051. The overuse of oil led to an international shortage crisis. The USA invaded Mexico to secure their supplies there. 2052. The European Commonwealth, which is an entity composed of what is in our world the European Union, was dangerously starting to lack oil. The same year, the Middle East started to heavily raise their prices. In response, the resource war between the European Commonwealth and Middle East began. In the process, the United Nations, unable to prevent this war and suffering of several withdrawing of important nations, was disbanded. An American biological weapon in development was stolen and accidentally released into the general population by a Chinese spy on US soil, leading to more than 200,000 deaths and the Commonwealth to close its borders. The private company Westech was hired and tried for many years to find a cure, but never achieved it. 2054. There was a short nuclear exchange in Middle East after Tel Aviv was nuked by a terrorist attack. Project Safehouse was initiated in the USA, where the private company Vault-Tec was tasked to build an underground vault system aiming to protect American citizens in case of a nuclear attack. 2059. The shortage of oil resources is severely felt throughout the world. USA increased military presence in Alaska to secure their pipeline, creating the Anchorage front line. Tensions between USA and Canada rose. 2060. Middle East petrol field expired, ending the war with the European Commonwealth, which quickly disbanded in several smaller nations that soon waged at war with each other over remaining resources. 2066. Alaska's petrol fields were the last resources of its kind on the planet. China invaded Alaska to capture those fields, starting the Sino-American War. From 2066 to 2077, USA and China were at war. The front line was very hard to move for either side due to heavy resistance and the use of advanced technological weaponry. In 2067 occurred the first deployment of mechanized infantry using power armor developed by Westech. 2074, the USA government warned the world that Alaska's petrol fields were for American use only and not for anyone else. 2075, Canada, after having been nearly overrun by USA military due to the Alaska Front, was finally annexed, but not without hurt. 2077. Alaska is totally reclaimed by the USA and American troops set foot in China. It was also the first time power armored units were used on a domestic soil for crowd control after riots emerged due to food crisis. Westech developed a biological element that supposedly prevent anyone from getting sick, in fear of the biological weapon used by China. It led to the creation of the Fourth Evolutionary Virus, or FEV, which will later be the origin of the entire supermutant race. On October 23, 2077 occurred the pivotal point of the Fallout history, the Great War. On this date, a nuclear attack between China, USA, USSR, and other nuclear-capable countries happened. No one knows for sure who launched the first strike. Some USA citizens retreated to the vaults, but not as much as predicted since most of people thought the sirens were yet another drill. The exchange lasted only 2 hours, but the entire planet was transformed in a nuclear wasteland during the process. Following the aftermath, the climate quickly became hostile, with irradiated rain and infertile soil. Many years later, survivors from the vault started slowly to come out and recolonize the world. Fallout 1. The original game takes place in 2161 and starts in Southern California. Fallout 2. The sequel takes you to 2241 in Oregon. Fallout Tactics takes place in 2197 in Chicago. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel is set in Texas, years 2208. Fallout 3 leads you in the Capital Wasteland in 2277. Fallout New Vegas, the sixth game developed, brings you to 2281 in Nevada. Now that you are a little more familiar with the world of Fallout, we are going to delve more on New Vegas, so click the link to learn more. Thank you for watching and see you later.